So, I'm back. Unless, of course, you're watching this in a playlist, in which case I'm saying I was back after about a 5-second break. But anyway, I am back. So good to be back. Of course, it's been, about a week and a half in between uploads due to editing issues, and then, of course, my computer temporarily shitting the bed. But regardless of all of that, we are back. And we are ready to go. Our first draft with the Red Wings. The unfortunate thing is that despite all of this time, as you get to look at the draft, wow, New Jersey got shafted. Holy shit, the Devils got shafted. The unfortunate thing is, even with all this extra time to think about how I wanted to approach this draft, I'm still not 100% sure of what I am going to do in this episode, and there is a reason for that. There is this inner struggle as we lose Dan Cleary. There's this inner struggle, this inner debate that I've been having. The whole realism versus doing what I need to do, as apparently no goalie's retired. The inner struggle of realism, but also, do I just do what I need to do to make this team successful? Anything less of getting, I'd say, 3 first-round picks like we're allowed, anything short of that would be intentionally handicapping myself, which, again, is kind of the point, to make something more difficult. But it's like, do I intentionally do that? Or do I just go out and do what I need to do? I still don't know, and I've said the word do about 18,000 times. The incredible news for us is that Henrik Zetterberg and Nicholas Kronwall have both retired. So, despite that Zetterberg trade being just garbage thanks to my ridiculous error and oversight, I at least feel a little bit better about it. Because odds are, Henrik Zetterberg wouldn't have been the difference between us having playoff success and not. So we at least picked up somebody. I mean, Tom Wilson will probably still be on this roster moving forward, so that's helpful. And that's one way to look at it. But again, it is draft day. Oh, I don't know what to do. As you can probably tell, this is going to be a bit of a marathon episode. Sometimes I kind of keep the draft video a little bit short. No, you are going to be with me here every step of the way. Let's figure out what the hell we are going to do. First things first, let's take a look at the big board and see who is available and where they are ranked. So our top 5, Owen Tippett, Nolan Patrick, Nico Hischier, Gabriel Velarde, and Casey Middlestott, who is created. You are going to see a lot of created players here. But an interesting top 5, top 10, Bowers, Heiskanen, Vesalainen, Klimkostin, I think that's Cale Makar. Where is our favorite Swedish buddy that everybody wants me to draft? Where the hell? There he is. Liljegren. First to second round. Huh. Because that was the big one. That is the player that people wanted me to get. I might not do that, though, now. I mean, we could get him as a late first-round pick, but to be honest, it's pretty scary. And I have a feeling that for whatever reason, obviously, his stock has dropped. He should have been a top 10 pick, no doubt about that, but sometimes the mode doesn't, play out as you would expect it to, as we've seen with someone like Matt Spencer growing 20 overall points in one season. But again, the debate of should I just do whatever I can to make this team better? And in saying that, what I would probably do is trade up into the top 5. Get one of these elite forwards. Ideally, I imagine Patrick and Hischier are the 1 and 2. Patrick has to go number 1 overall, I would imagine. But then do we try to trade back up into the top 10? Or do we try to trade up anywhere between 10 and 15? Maybe get somebody like Nicholas Hague, Michael Rasmussen. That wouldn't be too bad of a shout. And then, do we get a goalie? Do I get one of each do I get one of each position here? Or at least forward, defenseman, goalie. Not one of each position. That'd be insane. And that's the inner struggle. And honestly, guys, I think that might be exactly what I do. I know some people won't like the thought of me trading up to get 3 first-round picks, but I'm not going to be completely cheap about it. You got to figure, to get that done, we are going to have to give up draft picks anyway. But I don't know. Like I said, I thought about this in all that downtime, and I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do it. Now, our first pick is 16. Okay, 16th overall. So you know what? I think I'm dead set at least on trading into the top 5. And the good news is Nashville wants to trade. Can we get up any higher? Who else do we have? Vancouver and Anaheim. Actually, will Vancouver trade their pick? If not, we will go to Nashville. Okay, perfect. Vancouver doesn't want to. Let's go talk to Nashville. And the reason why I'm going to do this, I'm going to probably go to 7, then talk to Anaheim, and then maybe talk to, I think it was Ottawa and Carolina at the top of the board. I don't know. We will see. Like I said, I don't want to be too cheap about it, but I also know what I need to do to make this team super competitive. And if you look at all these picks, yes, we only have 1 first, 2 seconds, 3 thirds, and then a bunch of mid to lower round picks over the next 2 seasons, but I can make that work. I definitely think I could end up with the 3 first-round picks, and you can still hear the hesitation in my voice, but I think that's what we are going to do. Now, do we have any players? Because at the very least, I am getting this Nashville pick. We'll trade up. Let's take a look. Is there anybody with at least a little bit of value that still has some term left? Glendening, 5 years left. That's a rough one. That is a rough one. They do want him, though. Jay Beagle is also available, and he has 2 years left. You know what, Jay Beagle, I think, is the guy. How many times can I say the word Jay Beagle? The name Jay Beagle. So let's see. I forgot. I hate that. I always forget that. You got to hit the X button again when you're selecting multiple picks. So let's go with him. And I wonder, what do they think of that? Just straight up. Close to fair value. All right. Well, we are getting started off on the right foot here. That is close to fair value. And we will make the most of this. How does a nice, shiny 5th-round pick from your friends, the Detroit Red Wings, sound? Apparently, it sounds good enough. Just like that, we have traded up to get from the 16th overall pick to the 7th. That is beautiful. Now, Anaheim had the 5th pick. And the reason I wanted to go for that is I do feel like it's a little bit easier to trade from 7 to 5 as opposed to 16 to 5. So we should have a little bit easier of a time convincing the Ducks here to make this happen. I do wonder, is a 5th-round pick enough to make it happen? No, it is not. Okay, well, how about... I think I'm just going to go for this, man. And if people don't like the direction of it, I certainly understand, as that's close to fair value. Because you'd never really have a situation where a team would move this many picks or where a team would have this many picks. But you got to do what you got to do. Basically, as shitty of an excuse as that is, I have to be able... I understand the game mode, although yes, I've made mistakes with the Zetterberg deal. I have to put this team into a spot to win. That is the purpose, right? So let's see if we can pull that off. That trade went through. We have the 5th overall pick. Now, we could just hold on to this and then see what guy is left from the top 5. We could do that. We could just see who is left from the top 5. Or we can make an impact move. We can make a statement. We can go out and try and get a top 2 pick. Nolan Patrick or Nico Hischier. Now let me double check. San Jose, New Jersey. Okay. San Jose, New Jersey, and Carolina. So let me see here. The Carolina Hurricanes at number 2, because we could take the opposite, whoever the Sens don't take. Do they want to trade that pick? Please? Shit, they don't. All right. San Jose, do you want to trade the number 3 overall pick? I'm surprised the Sharks only have the 3rd overall pick. They do want to trade that. How about Ottawa? Do they want to trade the number 1 overall pick? They do. Oh, boy. All right. Well, Do I want to get the number 1 overall pick? Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it. Why the hell not? 'Tis a video game after all. Let's see. Would a 6th wouldn't do, but how about 2 6th-round picks from your friends, the Detroit Red Wings? No. All right. Well, that is okay. That is okay. Because actually, I mean, they're still going to get a decent player. They're just not going to get Nico Hischier or Nolan Patrick. So, we'll see what happens here. We will see what happens. I imagine this isn't going to work, and I'm going to have to add a little bit more rather than 6th-round picks. But damn it, I got to try and be as cheap as I can because they are going to be pretty cheap right back. Will that go through? No, it won't. All right. Well, we will keep switching out these 6th-round picks for 5ths until we get an answer. We still have plenty of picks next year to work with as well. Will that go through? No, it won't. Right. Okay. Am I really going to give up 4 5th-round picks? Will that go through? Close to fair value. Okay, so we're going to take off one of the 5ths. We're going to add in a 4th and a 6th next year. Will that go through? No, it didn't. All right, so let's take off another 5th. We'll add another 4th. And we'll add ours this year. Will that go through? Will the Sens trade down from number 1 to number 5 for a handful of picks over the next 2 years? No, they won't. Case in point, being just a little bit stingy with me. Although, are they really? Are they really? I'm asking them to give up the rights to Patrick or Nico Hischier. So let's be honest here. Will that go through? Yes, it did. And there you have it. We have the number 1 overall pick. I don't think we're done, but because it's a draft and we're like 12 minutes into this and I haven't made a pick yet, allow me to do so. With the number 1 overall pick in the 2017 draft, just saying those words, that's going to piss off some people, I'm sure. But with the number 1 overall pick, it's not going to be Nolan Patrick. We've seen Nolan Patrick plenty of times in this series. No, instead, from the Halifax Moosehead, we are going to take Nico Hischier, who very well in real life might actually go number 1. He's the consensus number 2 at the very least. He is a top 2 pick. He's going number 1 in this series. High elite potential, as I expected. Carolina just won the lottery. They get Nolan Patrick. I knew it before that even happened, as one of the Sedins has been traded to the Islanders. I'm going to guess it was Daniel. Anyway, I do want to take a look, though. Man, I just handed Nolan Patrick to Carolina. Let's take a look here. I want to see where Hischier is. And he is immediately our best player. He is our most valuable player. Case in point. Now, we'll take a look at like what Casey Middlestott and Owen Tippett ended up being, Velarde as well. But, I mean, we know what we needed. I went out and got it. Sue me. 70 overall at 18 years old, high elite potential. Now, I expect Patrick to be at least a 75, 76 to have a little bit of a heads up. He is a 76 at 18 years old. Their most valuable forward at this point over Elias Lindholm. Still not a fan of him after what he's done to us in some of these series. But there you go. Nico Hischier is a Detroit Red Wing. Let's sim the rest of these picks. Middlestott goes 3rd to Carolina, Velarde, and then the Sens do get Owen Tippett. Another Sedin has been traded to the Sabres. Mike Camilleri also off to the Buffalo Sabres, so that could be competition. I do want to take a look, though, at these guys. So it was Vancouver. You ended up with who? Oh, no, wait, Vancouver was 6th. What am I saying? It was New Jersey. My fault. San Jose, 3rd pick. You ended up with Casey Middlestott, who's not terrible, 67 overall, 18 years old, medium elite potential. Their second, tied for their second most valuable forward with Timo Meier. Joe Pavelski, of course, still a beast for the San Jose Sharks. The Ottawa Senators, just because they are next in line, the 5th pick, Owen Tippett. Not bad. Not bad at all. Tied with Mark Stone now as their most valuable forward. 65 overall at 18 years old. Wouldn't have been a bad player to end up with had we stayed there. Not at all. And like I said, I'm sure some people wish I did. And then we take a look at the Devils. Velarde, 63 overall at 17 years old. Their second most valuable player, their second most valuable forward behind Taylor Hall. So a strong top five that we definitely could have stuck with, but we didn't. And that's that. Now, I have to admit, I'm going to trade up again. I'm going to try. I don't know if it'll happen, but I am going to try to make as many picks as possible here. I did set the hard rule quite a while ago as, hey, look at that, Tampa wants to trade that pick, that I was only going to do, 3 first-round picks max, because there were some drafts, mainly in the Vancouver series, where I had like 5 first-round picks. It was absurd, because we were just a prospect factory. But let's see here. Now, you could argue, too, it's like, okay, Ottawa, to make that pick, maybe you should have given up somebody like Nastasiuk or Renouf. And I can hear that, and I was thinking of doing that as well. And honest, if people think that's the fair thing to do, I could go trade Nastasiuk to Ottawa for like a 6th round pick or something just to balance it out. Let me know what you think about how I'm approaching this draft. But yeah, we still have a lot of work to do here. Because like I said, I'm going to be live throughout this entire episode. So let's see. Can we trade up to get this pick from the Tampa Bay Lightning is my question. Because if we can, then again, I will use that pick to move up even further. But let's see here what we can do. Again, we have a ton of picks, mainly next year, now at this point, after that trade. But let's see what we can do. I'm going to move up to using 5th round picks already. How about these 2 5ths? Will that work? Will the Lightning bite on that? No, they will not. We'll try 4th round picks. We will make this work. Here, we'll even give you back your 4th rounder and take Arizona's next year as well. How does that sound to you? It doesn't sound great, apparently. Well, this is proving to be more difficult than I would have imagined. Our 4th round pick next year? Damn. All right, we're going to have to use a 3rd to get back into the 1st round here. Let's use Florida's. And then how about a 5th from the Islanders next year? How does that sound? All right, this is definitely proving to be more difficult. I'm probably trying to be a little bit too cheap. Take it easy. Don't yell at me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back in the groove here. It's been a while. It has been a while. Damn, they are proving to be difficult. Shit. All right, we'll just start throwing 4th round picks at them. Can't say we're not making it worth their while. They are getting a decent return out of this. Steve Yzerman continues to just take it to his former team. That is a strong return for the Lightning, but we get what we want. We are back in the 1st round. Now again, I'm going to do a slight trade up. Let's see if Colorado or Vancouver, actually, damn, Vancouver, 6th and 19th overall picks. The good thing is Colorado wants to trade, and they just dealt both Sedins, the Vancouver Canucks, in rebuild mode. But let's see here. What can we do? So the Tampa pick. And how does a nice shiny 5th round pick next year sound? There's no way this goes through. Yeah. I figured it was worth a shot, but there was no way that was going through. How about a 4th and a 6th to move down a couple of spots? Thank you. I appreciate that, Colorado. Now, it was Philly and Toronto, right? Philly and Toronto. Let's go talk to the Toronto Maple Leafs with the 13th pick. Do they want to trade it? Yes, they do. Nobody wants to make these picks. So, we might be in a bad spot. Maybe I'm trading up to go after players I shouldn't necessarily be going after. But let's see here. How's a nice shiny 5th round pick next year sound to the Leafs? Not good enough. Unfortunately. How about another 6th? Are we getting close to fair value, Lou Lamoriello? Yes, we are. That is great news, because we're not really giving up too much, which is good. Will that go through? No, it won't. Apparently, we're even further away than we were before. Not quite sure how that pans out. Will this go through? No, it won't. Shit. Okay. So let's get another 5th round pick in there. If we have one, which we don't, how about a 5th round pick way down the line and a 6th? Will that go through? A handful of picks for the Leafs to move down a couple of spots. That went through. That is wonderful. We will be making that pick. But again, I'm not done. I'm not done. I want to try and get that 20th overall pick back from the Toronto Maple Leafs to Edmonton. Edmonton wants to trade this pick. Lovely, lovely. And we still have the tools to do it. We still have some picks in the higher rounds, a 2nd and 2/3 left to use. We don't have any picks left. Oh my God. We don't have any picks left after this. Will that go through? No, it won't. All right. Well, damn it. Instead of going for quantity, we are going for quality. And hopefully that pays out. I didn't mean to tack on that 5th, but will that go through? It went through. You know what? A 2nd and 2/3 to the Oilers. We move back up. That is good. Now, let's go talk to Toronto again. Let's go talk to the Leafs. They still want to trade that pick, which is great. Let's see if we can make it happen. And then I don't know what else will happen in this draft. So we have the Edmonton pick. We also have a 4th and a 5th. All right, let's start off with the 4th and see what they think of that. Not close enough. Not close enough at all. 2018, how about a nice shiny 6th? And again, the good thing is about these draft picks too is, we might not make that many picks this year. Holy shit, that went through, a 4th and a 6th, and we are right to where we want to be. The good thing about this, as we'll finally get to make our picks here, the very few of them, we have a 5th. But you look next year, we don't have that many picks. We still have players that we're going to be looking to trade away somewhat soon. You know what I mean? Oh shit, you know what? I almost forgot. I want to try and trade Antiniemi. I almost forgot. Holy shit, I'm glad I double checked. And I just dropped my controller. That's unfortunate. Is it broken? I don't need anything else to break. Okay, we're good. That's good. That's a wake-up call. Arizona, you have cap space, which is lovely. You don't necessarily need a goalie, but I will make it worth your while. Trust me on that. I was going to say, I want to get rid of him rather than buying out his contract, because at least that way we are, we're only paying half a salary as opposed to buying out the contract completely. Now, I want to make it worth their while for picking him up. Unfortunately, we are going to need to bring somebody back, which is fine. We can get someone on a 1-year deal and then just cut them on the re-sign phase. Let's see. Who can I take? Grayson Downing? Let's take Grayson Downing. We'll take that contract off of your hands. And let's see. Let's go back to picks here. Let's go back to picks, although I don't really plan on taking too much away from them. How would you... In the interest of being fair, I'm going to give them our 3rd round pick next year. I am going to take back some minor picks here over the next 2 years. How about a 5th and a 6th and a 6th next year, right? So we're going to get some minor picks back. But basically, as a reward for taking the Emmy... Actually, you know what? No, let's just take... You know what? No, let's be harsh here. As a reward for taking Antiniemi, we'll give you our 3rd. We'll get your 6th next year, and we'll cut Grayson Downing. But as a reward, as a thank you for taking Antiniemi off of our hands, we will go and hand them a good pick. Will 43% be enough? No, it won't. They're going to have to go the full 50. I don't even know if they'll take it. They might not still take it. They might not want his contract. But we will retain half of the Emmy salary. We'll give them a 3rd round pick as a thank you for a Grayson Downing and a 6th. Will that go through? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So Antiniemi is gone. We give up quite a bit to make sure that we get rid of him. But there's your realistic trade, so to speak. But as far as picks go, we are pretty much fresh out. But anyway, as I was saying, if you look at players that we're going to be getting rid of, Mike Green, odds are he goes at the trade deadline no matter what. He has 1 year left after this year. I didn't plan on trading any other, major pieces because I still want to see who we have and what, we don't know what free agency will bring. But, eventually he'll be out the door. You look at DeKaiser, Eriksson. We're not going to get too much for them, but we are going to get lower picks that will, round up. I think you guys pretty much get the point. We still have a lot of work to do with this team. The good news is we are taking a massive step forward in doing that now. And the other major thing is, too, you look at Nico Hischier. He's in the CHL with Halifax. So we're not going to be able to play him down in Grand Rapids for another year or two. If we're lucky, he might be good enough for the NHL at that point. But we're still 2 years away from seeing someone like Nico Hischier make an impact on the main team. And that is why I'm all right with doing what we are doing in this draft. Again, to rationalize it, which I don't know, people, there's going to be some people like, still, you're fucking stupid, this is cheap. And then there's going to be the other section where people are like, just shut the fuck up about it already and make these picks. And I will do just that. So let's sim to our next pick. We look at the rest of these picks. Vesalainen to Vancouver, Makar to Anaheim, high top 4, high top 6, Clean Costin to Dallas. I believe that's Shane Bowers. Heiskanen to Montreal, so they get another solid defenseman. Nikas Nekas, I know his first name's Martin, and Elias Anderson to Philly. So we are up. 13th pick. We are taking a defenseman. And again, it's not going... It can't be Liljegren. And we'll take a look to see if I regret that. But for me, it's down to Haig, Valimaki. I'm not going to go with Timmins because that low league interest scares the hell out of me. Or Cal Foote. And I honestly think, more than anything, it comes down to Haig or Cal Foote. Which I don't think either will be a bad option at all, really. Not Ryan Poling. I wish you could still use the triggers. I say that in every draft. But Nicholas Haig, 6'5", 207, a shutdown defenseman from the Mississauga Steelheads. Or we go, not with Liljegren, I'm sorry. Or we go with Cal Foote from the Kelowna Rockets. I always hate trying to pronounce that. More of an offensive output from him. And how funny would that be to have a Foote on Detroit after some of those battles between Colorado and Detroit back in the day? Right. Cal Foote or Nicholas Haig. I would love to have both of them on my team, to be honest. Do we want the hulking shutdown defenseman or the hulking two-way defenseman? I'm going to go... Damn. Maybe I'm putting too much stock into how they're listed. I might be, to be honest. Shit. Oh, this is a tough pick. Nicholas Haig, he's a lefty. Or Cal Foote, a righty. You know what? Let's call a timeout. We've made one pick and we're almost a half an hour into this. Welcome to my channel. If this is one of your first few videos of mine that you're watching, which if so, if you're new to my channel and you're almost a half an hour into this, man, you are awesome. Especially because I went to the wrong spot again. Whew. More difficult to get back into the groove of things than I expected. But god damn it, I can't lie and say that there hasn't been a smile on my face throughout this entire episode. Anyway, what I wanted to do was take a look here. Saryarvi, what are you? You're a righty. Hronik is a lefty. Pionk is a righty. Brickley's a lefty. Renouf's a lefty. Spencer's a righty. Chalowski's a lefty. Spruill's a righty. Yep, I think I'm gonna go with the righty. Maybe. Shit, I mean, it is about even. Oh, that didn't help. I was hoping it'd just be like all left-handed defensemen, and I'd have a really easy pick. God damn it. This is around the time where I wish this episode was like live streamed or something, so that this would be much, much easier for me. But, let's see. Haig or Foote? You know what I'm almost tempted to do? I'm almost tempted to trade down until one of them is taken. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do because not only will we be able to recover draft picks from that, but it takes the decision out of my hands. I will be happy with either defenseman. In a way, I'm going to let the game decide for me, and I'm also going to recoup some of those draft picks. So the Toronto pick will go to Boston, and we will try to get back what we can in this draft. How about a 4th and 2 6? You know what? They'll probably take that anyway. How about a 4th, a 5th? You know what? Fuck it. If you think I'm getting back too much for it, I agree with you. I totally am. Will that go through? No, it didn't. Okay, well, that makes me feel better. Will that go through? No, it didn't. All right, we'll take that off, and we'll go with a 6th round pick next year. Will that go? And you know what? Nope. Okay, well, that's kind of what I meant to do. Here, have 7th round picks. I don't want them. Will that go through? No, it didn't. Wow. Okay. Will that go through? Yes, it will. So there you go. We pick up 2 extra picks from the Bruins this year, and we trade down 1 spot. Will they make the choice that we couldn't? They do. They take Cal Foote. That worries me a little bit, but we trade down ever so slightly. We will draft Nicholas Hague, and we will hope that we made a good decision. We go with the defensive D-man Hague. Let's take a look. If we go Hague versus Foote, did we make the right choice? Did we make the right choice? Although I can't lie, seeing Cal Foote in the Bruins uniform would be amazing. But there you see Hague, already our tied for third most valuable piece, asset, so to speak, with Svechnikov. He is easily our most valuable defenseman. Just over half a bar, somewhere between half a bar and 2/3. 67 overall at 18 years old, high top 4 potential. We look at Cal Foote, who is a little bit further down, 64 overall at 18 years old, and I'd say about the same value, wouldn't you? About half, somewhere between half a bar and 2/3 for Cal Foote. So it'll be interesting. And hopefully I can remember to keep an eye on it to see who progresses, just overall, who becomes the better player, Nicholas Hague or Cal Foote. But Boston made that choice for us, which is lovely. Now, let's take a look here. Tolvanen to Minnesota, Poling to Nashville, Valimaki to Calgary. LA takes Rasmussen, who fell pretty far. Vancouver's on the board again, and they took one of the goalies. I was thinking of taking him, Jake Oettinger. I never knew how to pronounce that. That just made the decision for me, though. Because I was going to go with either him or Ian Scott. And I know a ton of people are saying, no, go with Liljegren. It's not going to happen. It's not. So I think Ian Scott is the guy. Now, you could argue, do you need a goalie when Mrazek isn't exactly that old? I don't necessarily think you're wrong, but it might not be that bad to have a safety net the caliber of Scott. He is a strong prospect. And if you look at our goaltending right now, we have Van Pottelberg. He is not a guarantee, though. Under half a bar worth of trade value. Mrazek also slightly under from the looks of it. Aside from him, though, we don't have anybody. We have Gahagen, who's 24 and might turn into a backup. We have Jared Coro, which, isn't great. He's locked up for a little bit more time. It'll be nice to have that one extra goalie prospect in the system. And I think Ian Scott's the guy. And again, he's a ways away. He's a WHL guy, and odds are he won't make, he won't progress. We won't see him for a year or two on one of our 2 teams. So it makes all the sense in the world. We are prepping for the future. This doesn't immediately, this doesn't turn into a shortcut that makes us immediate contenders. We are still rebuilding and will be for the first 2 or 3 years or so. And that continues here as we draft Ian Scott, 20th overall, also high starter. And I will actually compare him to the goaltender that Vancouver drafted. Vancouver's had a hell of a draft for themselves as well. They trade both Sedins. They pick up Vesalainen, who is a very strong prospect for them. God damn. Strong pick. And of course they have Brock Besser, Stretcher, Triamkin. They're looking pretty good. And they get a goalie prospect. They now have him and Thatcher Demko. Demko still has a higher value, but there you see, just over half a bar value, 63 overall at 18 years old. What is Ian Scott looking like is my question. He is already the most valuable goalie on our team, 66 overall at 18 years old. Is his value slightly less? I'd say it's a half bar to 2/3, around that same area. I can't tell. I think his value might be slightly less. They might be identical. But overall, we've had an interesting draft so far, about 35 plus minutes into this episode. We got rid of Antti Niemi, and now the question is, do we want to make those later picks? We're not going to make any other big moves. We will take a look to see where Liljegren goes, but we have a 4th, 2 5ths, and a 6th left in this draft. Next year, we only have a 1st, a 2nd, and a 4th, so we will have to recoup some picks. But you have to make those big deals. Now is the right time to make them. And let's take a look. Again, I don't think I want to make any other of the major moves here. I think we'll wait to trade a Franz Nielsen, to trade a Darren Helm, and other players like that. I think we are good for now. It's just a matter of, for me, it's a matter of getting this episode done and seeing the reaction, because I don't know what the hell to expect. But let's sim to the next user pick, and we'll take a look at the first few rounds here, because we're going all the way to the 4th round, which not sure if we'll get anything great, but you never know. Some excess pieces might not hurt. So we're all the way there. Let's take a look. Again, the top 5, Hischier, Patrick, Middlestop, Velarde, and Tippett. We go all the way towards the end of the round. Cal Foote. I don't know if we should have taken him. I'm all right with Haig, though. So Lodnia, Formenton, Cody Glass goes, and that's a great pick there for the Coyotes. Not necessarily a great pick for the Hawks. Wasn't he projected top 10? And he didn't go till the 24th. Hello, Jake Chychrun of this year. Liljegren goes to Colorado. Medium elite potential. 25th overall. He's the real Chychrun in this draft. Or Chychrun, I apologize. Let's take a look at Liljegren. I had a feeling too, the potential would still be that. The trade value, though, is the big indicator. How good will he be? Will he be a top 5, a top 10 player for them? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He is exactly the 10th most valuable asset on the Avs. 68 overall, 18 years old, under a half a bar worth of trade value. Tied with AJ Greer, just below JT, or just above JT Compher, excuse me. So yeah, I think we made the right choice. I do. The only bright side to Liljegren is that he can go straight to the AHL. Which, I don't know, guys. I feel like we made the right pick. His value is honestly low enough that we could trade for him if we really wanted to. So I'll leave that up to you guys. I won't do it immediately, though. I won't do that immediately. I will have to call a timeout here. I won't do that immediately. So, in the next episode, I won't do it. But maybe before the start of the Season 2 sim or down the line, we can look at picking him up if you guys really insist. Let's take a look, though, quickly at the rest of this round. Robertson to Vancouver, another decent pick. Mackenzie Entwistle to Toronto. Mary Ellis to New York. Ryan Thomas, I believe. Jake Lashishishi. Gotta love that name. But let's see. Second round here, again, Vancouver, another pick. Holy shit. Anderson Dolan, Sasha Chmelevski. Some decent picks going at this stage in the draft. Some really decent picks. Pedersen, Suzuki, although I have a feeling their value is probably a little bit lower, but still, good potentials to have. Really, really good. Holy shit. Man, the middle of the second round was the gift that kept on giving. Holy shit. Look at all these top 6 guys. That is insane. The 21st pick, between the 21st pick and the 8th pick, nothing but great players. Again, I'll take a look at Stelio, for example, who went to Philly. If I'm wrong on this, I'm going to feel like a dick because, man, I traded up to get some players when I might not have had to have done so. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can see here, Stelio Mateos. Good potential, not the greatest of values. Rubtsov, I'm a bit surprised his value is that low. Medium 6. You would think he'd be a little bit better than that. But, again, just to, kind of go over that, I feel like overall we made a smart choice. I will quickly just go through the rest of the second round. Why the hell not? This video is already long enough. Let's make it even longer. Let's make it even longer. So yeah, I mean, overall, a good pick for Washington, good pick for St. Louis in Stuart Skinner, but again, their value's probably a little bit lower than you would expect. Michael DiPietro also to Philly. Philly having a pretty damn good draft as well. Minnesota gets a medium top 4 defenseman. Third pick, the third round, 15th pick of the draft. That isn't, wait a minute. Isn't he a Washington prospect? Why is he in the draft? That's weird. All right, well. Oh, well, Ralph Jarrett. Okay, we've seen enough. Let's make this pick already. Let's make this pick already. Goddamn. Who is available? You might as well just throw a dart at the board and hope for the best. We have Nicholas Poulin. We have Valentenko, Shaw, Kerwin. Again, it's just throw the dart at the board and see who you get. So let's see, there's a handful of left wingers, defensemen, and 1 center. Well, if I'm taking a forward, I would probably take the center, Mason Shaw, just because, face-offs are helpful. You know what? Fuck it. That's what I'm going to take. Mason Shaw. Screw it. Again, throw the dart, see where it lands. We got a medium bottom 6 guy. That's not terrible. Let's sim a couple more picks. Luke Kerwin was high AHL top 6. All right, so we had a choice, either a medium bottom 6 guy or a high AHL top 6, which, I mean, probably about equal in value. So I don't feel like we missed out on too much there. Again, it's a 4th round pick, so it is what it is. Hardly ever do we find gems in these later picks. It happens sometimes, not often though. Let's take a look here. Pratt, Durando, Bear, Vienny, Vevalainen, Tarasov, Safronov, Mayorov. That's hilarious. Isaacson, who are you? Nicholas Isaacson, 17 years old from the Peterborough Petes. Right, we might take you, maybe. Austin Pratt, 17 as well from Red Deer. Arnaud, Jesus, that is the most French name in the history of French. Send him to France, and he can just be the ruler of France. Just make it happen. You deserve it off of that name alone. Wyatt Bear. That is Canadian as shit, isn't it? Then we got Vanni Vevalainen, who might be pretty decent. I mean, my philosophy always is take the goalie. And I think I'm going to do just that. Vienny Vevalainen. We somehow always end up with you in a series. High backup potential. That's probably why, because you are a pretty solid goalie. Mr. France goes to Minnesota. Could have gone with Reichel. Overall, I'm happy with that pick. Do we have one more? Or was that it? No, we do have one more. Another pick here in the 5th. Bellerive to the Islanders. God damn. Is anybody still here? I feel like I've lost a bit of steam. I'm sorry for that. But now that I've made these picks, the doubt is absolutely in my head about, oh boy, what's the reaction going to be to this? I don't know who the hell to take here. I have no idea. Is that Cale Fleury? It is. We might take him for the hell of it. No. Zip. Mayorov. I really don't want to take another goalie this time. Oleg Safronov. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Owen Lane. Hey, Owen Lane's actually... You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take Owen Lane. Please be half decent. Please. Hey, medium bottom 6. You know what? For a 5th round pick, I'll take it. Who did we pass up on? Is my question. 7th D. You know what? Overall, I feel like we made a good choice. Let's sim the next user pick, if there is one. I think that was it for this draft. No, we do have a 6th round pick. All right. Well, the last pick of this very, very eventful draft, to say the least, for the Detroit Red Wings. 4 players left, projected in the 6th. Right. I mean, again, this is more of a crapshoot. Anybody with a league interest? No? How about scouted players? Anybody decent? Fulcher DeNicola as a high AHL top 6 project. He might end up being low bottom 6. Cedric DeNicola. Cedric. Right. He's going to be the guy. He's probably going to be low bottom 6. Cedric DeNicola. Low bottom 6. All right. Well, there you go. There you go. A true throwaway pick to end this draft. That's our reward for missing out on one Mr. Foot. But overall, we made a hell of an impact. Hischier, Haig, and Scott. 3 future pillars of this franchise, you would imagine. Now, whether or not they live up to their potential, who knows? But as I've said 1,000 times during this video, we still have a long way to go to turning this franchise back into the perennial contender. I do want to take a look at though, some of the trades, as Edmonton gets Mike Smith for a 3rd and prospect Greg Chase. Interesting. Of course, then you had our picks, which I almost read off as if they belonged to somebody else. That's how I'm still not used to being Detroit. Henrik Sedin, straight up for a 1st. Damn. All right. Well, not a bad bit of business for Vancouver. They did have a solid draft. Buffalo also picked up Mike Camilleri for 2 seconds. Wow. So Buffalo gets Henrik Sedin and Mike Camilleri for a 1st and 2 seconds. Looks like they're projected to win now or want to win now. Vancouver also traded Daniel Sedin straight up for a 1st. Damn, not a bad bit of business. Not a bad bit of business at all. There you have all of the trades. I don't know what else to say. You guys kind of have already seen the situation we are in moving forward. So I will end this episode. Again, so happy to be back, but quite scared at what the reaction could be, as we had so many options for how to approach that draft. But again, the bottom line is we had the opportunity, we had the chance to go out and grab 3 players that could really help this team moving forward, and I didn't want to pass up that chance. Again, anything short of knowing and having the feeling that we could pick up the 3 players that we did, anything short of doing that would have been intentionally handcuffing myself to make it more difficult. I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the day, though, it is supposed to be fun. I had fun making this episode. I hope you had fun watching it. Like I said, it is great to be back, and hopefully you enjoyed this marathon of a return video. So guys, that is it for this one. As always, support the video, support me, support the channel, support whatever in any way you deem necessary. I'm not even gonna say anything more than that. Again, feel free to support the video in any way you deem necessary. It was amazing to sit back and panic over the future of this channel, all while watching views still roll in and the subscriber number continue to rise in my absence, which was fantastic. So guys, thank you so much. I'll say it again, and I will see you guys in the next episode. We're rebuilding Hockeytown. That is really, over this episode, and as it will continue in the next episode, that tagline is becoming a reality. Who knows what we'll be able to do in the free agency period. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I will see you guys then. Goodbye.